Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Hellbender Vinyl. For those of you that don't know, Hellbender is a vinyl record pressing plant located right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, doing high quality, professional, top of the line record pressing, baby. We finally got one here. There aren't very many in the world, let alone the country, and to have one right under our nose is an insane resource. So if you are a musician looking to get some stuff pressed to wax, I highly, highly recommend checking out the folks over at Hellbender. Tell them Sykes sent you. I've always wanted to say that. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Sit back, relax, and let's start the beats. So, what's good? How are you living, my friend?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Can't complain. Everything's real chill over here.
That's good.
Living. Yeah.
That's good. I will say I am very surprised by your laid back demeanor given the limited amount of your music that I've consumed, because it's a little like,
yeah.
And like you're here just like, yo, what's up? So what's the scoop on that? Is that like a beast that you're keeping inside just for the stage?
So like I try to hold it back. I can't lie. I'm a little bit crazy up in here. So if I can keep myself a little chilled out, we'll be good. This is how I usually am off the mic. So I'm just real chill, laid back, but exuberant at the same time. So you'll get all of that.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing music stuff?
So I've been doing music since I was like 6 years old. Even before that, like I played the drums since I was 2. I played the guitar when I was 6. Done piano for a long time. Don't know when I started that, but I picked up piano somewhere. And I recently started rapping like when I was like 14, 15. Just like, because I used to write poetry and stuff. So I would write poetry and then I just scrap it. And then after a while, I just started putting that to a beat, and it became rap ever since.
Yeah. Well, when you say scrap it, what do you mean? Just like
I just threw it away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just threw it away. Just like tossed it because like at the time I was like uncomfortable with being an artist because there's so much judgment behind it. So like it can get pretty hard at times to be an artist, put something out there, and like I was just scared at the same time. So
yeah,
it was a mixture of everything.
Did you find that judgment was just like a result of like your environment at that time? Did you have like other creative people in your social circle then?
So yeah, when I was a kid, like I had an uncle who did music. He was like a country singer type stuff, but like nothing famous. None
of the good ones are famous.
Yeah. But he's the one that actually got me into music because he used to sit me on his lap all the time and he'd like play the banjo or play the guitar and all that stuff. So he got me real dwindled into music and all of that. So yeah, that was him. Like that was like my one biggest inspiration. So yeah.
Cool. So like now, I mean, you're sitting here, we're recording a podcast together. So at some point between, A and Z, I'm curious on that stuff in the middle. Like where was there like one sort of like match strike, I guess, like that lit the metaphorical flame that allowed you to feel more comfortable with sharing yourself with the world?
Yeah, so I don't tell too many people this story because a lot of people look at me and be like, you're capping, but it's true. One of the biggest pushes to get me to doing music was I met Mac Miller for the first time. That was whenever he was doing his Good AM thing and he did his pitch at the Pittsburgh Pirates thing. I met him and I had a big old talk with him. It wasn't that long, but I just like asked him like, how did he get used to just like releasing stuff? How did he get used to just being comfortable in his environment as an artist? And he just looked at me. He was like, just do it.
Sure.
So I'm just doing it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, with time comes comfort in a good case scenario. I mean, sometimes like time can really allow you to just kind of fester inside this hole of being sheltered.
Yeah.
But that's like the artist paradox, right? Where like so much art comes from being like an introverted, keeping to myself. I got all these
Yeah.
feelings. But then when it comes time to like, oh shit, now I gotta like do extroverted shit to get people to know about this. Scary. It's like the hardest fucking, it's like the hardest ceiling to crack through.
Yeah, it is scary. I will admit, sometimes I do get the jitters whenever I release something, because like it's like, wow, I did that. Oh my gosh, I feel so good. And then the back of my head talks. He's like, yeah, this might not be so good. And I'm just like, I don't know. But I'm still happy at the end of the day.
Totally. And like that, I mean, honestly, like the happiness is so important. And also like your intention and the reason why you're putting stuff out there is super duper important. In like, whether it's like good or bad, that shit is all super subjective. You know, when I was, I tell this story a lot on the podcast, but it's like really, it's relevant to what we're talking about now. You know, when I was 16 years old, I was a distinguished employee of American fast food chain Taco Bell. You know, I was on the line. I was, you know, slinging softies, slinging Hardee's, quesadillas. You got it. You know, I'm out there in these fucking streets. And, you know, I was like, that was around the time that I started getting into making music of my own and, you know, having a conversation that I'm sure you've had with people in your circle too, where it's just like, yeah, I'm like making this stuff, but I don't know what to do with it. Are people gonna like this and stuff like that? And my friend Antonio said this shit that is stuck with me to this day, where he's just like, man, there's people that don't like the Beatles. It doesn't matter.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they're the biggest fucking rock band of all time, but people don't like it. So like, of course there's gonna be some people that don't like fuck with your stuff. It's just like, hey, if I fuck with it, I gotta like believe in it and just put it out there and you'll find your people, but it's just gonna take time. And it's easier than ever now to find your people with like the internet and all this stuff. But also it's like really easy to feel like super small on the internet when you're like, you know, when you're like going against people that have like budgets to, you know, pay marketing people to farm their streams and have 2,000 million fake fucking followers on Spotify and shit like that. You know, it's a really, really stupid game. But if you're confident in what you're doing and you're sharing it with the world and just doing it as a wise man named Mac once said to you, I mean, what else? The only person that's really going to stop you is yourself.
Exactly.
You know, so from when did you like release your first song into the world?
I released my first song in 2017. Wasn't that good, but anyone's.
It doesn't matter if you did it.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah,
I still have a hard time, you know, getting over that, because like I know it's not that good. If you end up finding it, someone out there finds it, God forbid. Oh my God, bless your ears before you listen to it, because the quality is not good. But I released it in 2017. I was like on some Eminem stuff back then. Like I was just like lyrical, spiritual, miracle, and a swimming pool. Like, yeah. But yeah, that's when I released my first song. It was like 2017, 2018 type shit.
Cool. So, you know, if you could go back and tell, you know, 2017 Kenshi, were you always using the stage name?
No, I was underneath a different alias. Okay.
Well, if you could tell that person something that you've learned in these past 6-7 years, like what is something that you would want to go back and tell yourself from the jump?
I would probably tell myself, like, just take time, assess everything, and just release it. Don't be scared of the judgment. The judgment doesn't matter, because you're the one doing the music. You're the one behind the mic, not them. It doesn't matter what they think. Doesn't matter what they believe. As long as it's true to you, that's all that matters. And just be yourself. Because I was so scared of being myself. I don't know why I was, but here I am now. I'm actually my full-blown Justin, full-blown Kenshi Main. Like, it's just me.
Yeah.
It's all me.
Yeah. I want you to, if you get anything out of this podcast, I want you to like at least just clip that minute of shit that you just said. And anytime you're feeling bad about yourself, just listen to that.
Oh, I will. I'll definitely, more than definitely.
Seriously.
That's why I said it.
Seriously. Like, that's the thing is like, you know, I find sometimes when you talk with artists about like, well, like if you could like go and tell yourself, you know, something like, what would you say? It's always something along the lines of what you just said.
Mm.
And it's like, when you're like in a good mood and good spirits and just vibing, it's easy to be nice to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get back into that introverted creative writing circle, it's so fucking easy to be hard on yourself.
Exactly.
And it's like, why can't I just be this like champion for myself all the time?
Right.
It's really hard.
Yeah, it's
really
extremely hard.
You know, it's also hard too if, you know, you're writing music from like maybe kind of like a dark place and you're writing about some, you know, some twisted behaviors, some sad things, some angry things. And you know, you're trying to interface with the darkness to create some sort of positivity, but you still have to interface with, there's still that in between where, you know, you're thinking about all this stuff. That could be really hard.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about writing happy music?
I have wrote happy music. I know it doesn't sound happy, but if you actually take it down, I'm just speaking nonsense half the time because it's all freestyle. I don't write. I haven't wrote a single song in like 2 years.
Okay, so what's the method behind that? What's the reason for that?
So one day I was just sitting, chilling. I smoke, so I was just smoking real good. I was feeling real good, and I throw a beat on, and I was vibing, and then boom, song came up, hook came up like that. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna go to the microphone now," and I made a whole song, and that is how a lot of Ice was made. I did that EP with DJ Flip. I also did a lot of Spaz. That's the mixtape that I dropped before I got signed, and a lot of this new EP coming up too, which is all freestyle. I haven't wrote a single lick of any song that's on that EP.
Do you still ever like write it all for like other things, or are you just like very like anti-premeditation with my creativity?
Yes. Yes. That's
a really coming from like somebody that, you know, you were saying that like you wrote like a lot of poetry and stuff like that when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting take, but my next question, I suppose, would be, did you find that maybe aside from like any concerns of like judgment or criticism for the poetry, when you were like writing stuff, did you think that maybe sometimes you were just like overworking the dough a bit too much? Like sometimes when you're writing shit, it's so easy to like overthink things and overcomplicate things. So is that maybe what you're trying to avoid a bit?
Yeah, because in a lot of my older music that I released, it was all overthinking. I wanted to jam so much of what I was trying to say into one verse. So it would all be like too ahead of the beat, too behind of the beat, too slow, too fast.
Sure.
It wasn't that perfect median that you need to have whenever you're making a verse. And I know it sounds kind of bonkers when I'm talking about it, but like I just wanted to fit so much because like I said earlier, I'm like all scatterbrained up here. So it's just all crazy. I want to say everything. So me freestyling helps me contain that. So it's just like fluid. It sounds more natural too, because all my older stuff, it sounded forced. This newer stuff that I'm releasing is like more relaxed, chill, more to me. So like it just comes out more fluid.
I could see that. I definitely do not write music in the same way that you do, but I can relate in terms of like if I get a track together and it's time for me to figure out how I want to put vocals on this song, like I'll just go in the booth and I'll hit record and I'll just like be like that like makes like just like some syllables like, oh, like this word count and this idea makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I will try to kind of like then write to like my just gibberish like in that context like that. But sometimes like when I'm in there, like I'll get the idea, like the hook will just come and I'm like, okay, like these are definitely going to be the words, but I'm definitely going to have to re-record this because I recorded it just like sitting there with a fucking microphone like this and it sounds like shit. But like sometimes when I'm like trying to like recreate that, it's really hard to like recreate the same energy, even though it's like now it's like I got the fucking I'm in front of the nice microphone in the treated room, but it fucking sounds like shit because like my heart's not in it in the same way because I'm overthinking it so fucking much.
Yeah, it just sounds less natural the more and more you try to force it out.
Yeah.
Whenever you're just like, oh, okay, there it is. Boom. Bang. There's a song.
Do you find yourself with the issue though of it, say it comes time to maybe perform something live? And you're like, ah, fuck, now I got to remember all these words that I just made up.
Yes, it happens a lot.
Do you ever like write stuff down after the fact, or is it just like listen, get it baked in?
You know, I try so hard to bake it in, but I don't. I do make the mistake of not writing the song way after the fact that's even done. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't have any of the writing materials, and whenever it's time for me to perform, sometimes I get a little bit nervous because I'm like, oh God, what if I mess up?
Sure.
So I'll listen to the songs the entire way to the set. I'll listen to the songs every day just to try to bake something in.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it doesn't go to plan.
Yeah.
So I have to get used to writing
that. A buddy of mine that used to do a lot of hip hop stuff in Pittsburgh back in the day. We'll leave his name off of the conversation because I'm not trying to give away trade secrets, but he would do this really funny thing because he had a really hard time remembering lyrics to songs too. But he was like, if I could get the first line of the verse, it's like, I know the rest. It's always just remembering that start.
Yeah.
So he would make set lists, but instead of the song names, it would just be like the first line of every song.
That is genius. I haven't thought of that. Oh my gosh, whoever you are, thank you. I'm a bow down. You just gave me a good idea.
Yeah, so he would just have his little set list down by the monitor and then just look at it before the song, like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, dude, I need to do that. That's genius. I haven't thought of that.
Hey, wow. One of the things that's really great about taking the time to sit down and communicate with like other people in the scene and have like these like long form conversations is you get like those weird little tidbits and things like that. You get to share history, share secrets, share ideas and things like that. So now, moving forward as an artist and in this hip hop game, it seems like your inspiration as a human being regarding creativity is coming from all sorts of different places. But unfortunately, sometimes hip hop can be kind of like you can kind of be pigeonholed, kind of stuck in like one sort of a thing. And I mean, that could be cool because it's like, well, I don't gotta, sometimes if you go into the endless possibilities, you end up having a big old messy plate of pasta creative spaghetti with too many sauces and toppings, and it's like a sloppy mess, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to have some focus, but I guess my next question to you is, I don't know why I'm fucking talking like that. My next question to you is, moving forward as an artist, as you continue to create music and things like that, do you have any desire to try to bring in some of those outside influences from things? Like, how are you, So like, that wasn't even a question. I'm sorry, but I think
how am I bringing like all of like the elements that I'm having like as far as inspiration?
Yeah, or music? Is that even something that you're interested in trying to do?
I have in the past. I've done it in the past. I still carry that with me, but I don't put that in my music because it's just mainly like a driver force into me even like getting to record. So like it's just like, okay, Uncle Bo did it. It's time for me to do it.
Sure.
I feel really good about that, knowing that he has given me a lot of the elements to even do music in the first place. So that's just like a driver force, but I haven't put it in my music a whole lot, but I think I should.
Yeah. I mean,
should.
It's the thing that always, that can really suck about like, as you continue to make music over time is like whenever it stops feeling exciting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been there before, if you're going to get there, or maybe you never will get there. Maybe you will always be super stoked with what you're doing, producers that you're working with, maybe you'll luck out. But I feel like luck of the draw is pretty fucking slim, buddy. So one day, you're going to have that like, fuck, like I just need to need to do something different.
I
And
had an intervention point now that you mentioned it. When I was underneath the different alias I was under, um, like I said, I was underneath this like Eminem stuff. Like all I wanted to do was just mesh words together, which he's a genius at it. Like the way he structures his songs is genius. He can make anything rhyme with anything. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to do that, even though he's already done it. But I wanted to be him, and I was too focused on being him instead of being me. So like I had an intervention, I had a breaking point. I'm like, you know what? This shit sucks. Like, and then I had another point. Like my alias that I was under was taken. So the entire time I was making music, I was like 4 years into making music, and I had this breaking point. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Let me see if I'm even on Google. Looked on Google. There's like 5 different artists with the alias name that I had. So I was like, okay, I got to change up some stuff. So I started getting in the more melodic stuff, like listening to Juice WRLD a lot more, which I did listen to him whenever it was like 2017, 18, when he was getting into that stuff. And listen to X and Smoke Perp and Lil Uzi Vert and all of them. Just like I just listened to them all the time, just like trying to find out how they did the melodies. And then I dwindled back into my past because I listened to a lot of rock music. I'm a rock junkie. I like Nirvana, Blink-182, all that stuff. So I'm like, I tried to incorporate those elements and these elements and just mash them together, and I'm here.
yeah.
So yeah.
With I know that you mentioned earlier that, you know, you had some background with like piano or guitar or things like that.
All of that. Yeah.
When it comes to like outside of the lyrical aspect of stuff, when it comes to like beats and production, how involved, if at all, are you on that side of things?
So now I don't make my own beats. I actually have a friend of mine, shout out Lee Beats, or TRS Lee. He's out there too. He did the entire EP besides one song on that, and that's all his production. So like, round of applause. It actually sounds really good. I'm learning from him. He's learning from me. We're just like a unit. So I haven't produced the EP that's coming out, but stuff before I have produced. I used to just make beats and that was it. Like I was too uncomfortable behind the microphone at the time. So like I just got like nervous and shaky, like I said previously. So I would just stay behind it and just make beats. And I used a program called LMMS. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I haven't, no.
But it's like just a thing that it's laid out exactly like FL, but without recording. So I used to make my beats on there, or I used to make beats on an app called Beat Maker Jam, or Music Maker Jam now, but it used to be called Beat Maker Jam. And I would just put sound fonts together and beats and just rap over those. So it was just teaching me production.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I started as far as like making beats and stuff.
Yeah. So now do you just find that you prefer working in a situation where you can kind of like not have to carry the weight of everything on your shoulders and like work with somebody that has maybe like a little bit more like
knowledge?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
That's a good word for it.
Yes. It is way easier now because I could text Cody right now and be like, hey, yo, I need a beat. He'd be like, bet. And he'll have a beat to me by night. Like it's just fluid. So like, yeah, now it's easier. I'm able to just be the artist, and it's way easier to do that. So
totally. Yeah. You know, I've definitely flip-flopped with my wanting to work with other producers versus producing my own stuff. Regarding like any solo music I have ever released, I've been 100%. I've done everything. And it's been purely a selfish decision. I think it would be really cool. I've been telling myself this for like the past fucking like 52 years that one day I'll do a project where like I just work with another like producer and I just focus on just writing songs and stuff like that. Cause it could also be cool in terms of having an opportunity to step outside of what something I would normally make sounds like,
Mhm.
because I definitely have like my voice when it comes to how I produce a track, and it sounds like me, which is cool because it's me. But it could be fun to kind of like cosplay a little bit, have a little bit of Halloween, and be somebody else for a project. Why not?
Yeah, I've done that in the past. Yes.
So, with everything that you're doing right now, what is coming up? What's on the big old horizon?
Oh, the big old horizon.
Yes.
Okay. So what's on the big old horizon is an EP that's dropping next week, I think, give or take. Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
So it'll be out by the time people are hearing this.
Yes.
And it's great. Glowing reviews. Everyone's fucking going nuts for this thing.
Yes.
If you didn't know.
Yes. I have literally so many people ask me, yo, EP, where is it? I'm like, soon.
All right. So that's coming out. Cool.
Yeah. The EP name is called Matrix. It takes elements of like the movie Matrix, where it's like, red pill, blue pill. All does the one gives you powers, one gives you the ability to travel in time or whatever the fuck. It's that sort of idea, but like one side is telling you like this is where you've come from. This side is like where it's telling you where you need to get better at and how like you need to get further in and like where I've come from all the time. So it's like telling two stories in one. So it's like I'm traveling through like a video game type style too, because I'm a video game geek. Hence my name, Kenshi. It's a character from Mortal Kombat. So like, yeah, I like video games. So I wanted to incorporate everything. So it was like a Jumanji type deal, like a Dollar Tree Jumanji game. Like I just got sucked into a game and like was telling you how I got out of it type stuff. So it's like talking about overcoming a bunch of things. It's just, yeah.
Cool. So it's like a concept album type of project.
But it's an EP. It's a conceptual EP.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not an album. Yeah. So I've definitely noticed over time, because I'm 67 years old. But
you don't even look it.
Thank you. It's AI. Over time, I remember an era like when I was getting into music, like everybody would be doing these fucking like 29 song mixtapes and shit like that. It was fucking insanity. And now it seems like it's so much more common to do like, a smaller EP drip on Spotify and stuff like that, which I understand all the ethos behind it. I'm curious, like your perspective being somebody that is like a little bit newer, because like, I put out my first music in do we want to age myself? Sure. It was 2003 was the first time I released something.
I was 3 years old. I was a baby.
And releasing music then was a lot different, than it is now. But for you, do you have any like aspirations to do like a big album project ever? Or is it more just like what's the fucking point in putting in that work?
So if I do it, cool. I'm going to do it. If I don't do it, cool. I'm still doing these small projects. I'm still doing these singles, because a lot of the newer age stuff, like the crowds, like their attention spans are so short now.
Definitely.
So like making a big project like that is like becoming less and less popular. It's like in less and less demand, at least from my perspective. It is. I mean, you may have your own opinion on it, but that's just me.
I mean, bro, like my favorite band could release a fucking album tomorrow, and it would probably take me 3 months to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And like, if you just drop an EP, it's just like, bam, it's right there. 28 minutes, 6 songs, boom. It's just a banger, and they still get to enjoy the artist they want to listen to. So it's like a never ending battle with, do I want to? Do I actually want to put myself in that predicament of making a ginormous project with 32 songs on it? Or do I just want to keep it simplistic and have more views? So it's like more listening retention.
Yeah, it's hard. I find myself, I really romanticize the idea of the album.
Yeah.
And I think maybe a part of that is just from the era that I grew up in and thinking about my time that I spent as a little kid, like, you know, listening to a whole fucking record, putting the vinyl on the turntable, like going through my dad's records and shit like that. Like that stuff is like, it's like how I like to interface with music, even though I very rarely take the time to listen to music like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it sucks to release a whole album of music, you know, release like a 15 song record, and then you can go check the analytics for it, and it's like, it's always just like the first 20 minutes that people listen to, and that doesn't even, I don't even think it's like a matter of people like, oh, this is whack, I'm gonna turn it off. It's just like they're listening to it in their car.
Yeah,
they drove there for 20 minutes, now they went to the grocery store and their Aunt Sally fucking called them, and now they got to fucking stop at CVS and pick up her fucking back cream prescription or whatever the fuck you got to do.
Back cream prescription.
And then, you know, then they've gotten distracted and it's toast. So then, you know, they've listened to the first 20 minutes, but there's a whole other fucking 30 minutes of music that nobody's ever going to hear.
Yeah.
And it's shit. It's like, shit, I should have just split this up into 2 different releases to at least give it a fighting chance for people to hear it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's more important at the end of the day? Like my ego of having this fucking album or releasing art that people are actually going to listen to?
Yeah.
It's a tough world.
Right. Right.
So
it is tough. It's extremely tough.
Yeah. You know, I have like a little bit of a, with that being said, my band's going to be putting out an album soon. But I think that, my plan for releasing it online and releasing it in the real world are going to be completely different, and we don't got to get into that anyways because this is your podcast, not my fucking podcast.
Sure. But I'd sure love to hear about it. I'd love to hear about it. Is it like rock? What kind of?
So I play in a couple bands, but the band that we're talking about is called Normal Creatures.
Ooh.
And it is like it is at its core a rock band, but I mean, there's elements of hip hop, there's elements of electronic music, there's elements of heavy metal, there's elements of all kinds of stuff, you know?
So everything I like. Yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a listen.
Yeah, please check it out. But, you know, we recorded a whole album. It's a whole full band, you know, guitars, bass, drums. You know, I want to release this as a fucking album. Like if you want to buy a fucking copy of this record, you can buy a copy of this record. If you come see us play and you want the fucking thing and you're going to take it home and listen to it on your turntable or put it in a CD player or whatever, you can fucking do that. Because there are people that still like to interface with music like that.
Right.
But as far as the real world goes, I am not putting the whole fucking thing online. I'm going to release 1 song a month.
Yeah.
You know, I have artwork for every single song all ready to go. And like basically each of those songs is also going to be released as a mini EP. So I'll have the song, I'll have the instrumental, I'll have a remix, I'll have a demo version. Basically, like each song is going to get like a 4-song release, and I'll be doing like a 4-song release every single month for basically over the course of a year.
Wow.
So that's how I'm going to put it out online. Now, if you come to a show and you like those couple songs you've heard online, sure, give me $20. Here's the whole album. Listen to it all you want. Just don't put it on YouTube, asshole. But hey, you know what? I'm at the point in my career where if somebody actually bothered or liked my music enough to fucking put a bootleg of it up on YouTube, it wouldn't hurt me at all. I'd be happy to know somebody cares that much. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, that's where my head went. I'm like, dude, if somebody just came up and was like, hey, I'm going to pirate your music for a second, I'd be like, someone actually stole my music. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it feel giddy.
Yeah, it must be an interesting position to be in as an artist, because I think most underground, independent artists coming up would probably be happy to have that sort of a situation. Like, oh, somebody cares enough to like want to steal my stuff. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I wonder where the threshold is when that changes.
Yeah, it probably has to be somewhere where you like got like over 100,000 fans or some shit. They'd just be like, yeah, this is getting annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I would be like a little fucking salty if I had like a song up on like my Spotify that had like, you know, 2,000 streams, and then some idiot had it up on YouTube and it had like 2 million. You know,
my
like,
gosh.
What the fuck, bro?
I'd be like, dude,
I mean, it'd be like, it's cool that people are listening to my shit, but
yeah.
I would like some of this revenue.
Yeah,
You know?
give me my money, man. You stole my music, dog. I need my money.
Yeah. So, money's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks how much money it costs to be an artist. How do you feel about that?
It's taxing. It's taxing.
Yeah.
But I try to make it work. It's, I'm a producer. I like engineer my own stuff because that's where I started. I just did it in my bedroom. And now, ironically, I still do it in my bedroom. So.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're in a position where like you have like you're working with other producers for beats, but you're still like recording your own vocals and mixing and stuff.
Yeah. For now,
cool.
yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right. So you're being thrifty, cost saving.
Yeah.
But also I think that it's good that you're doing that because I think it's really important for anybody that's doing music to understand how
It's
the behind
made.
the scene. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And like, whereas like you make a 2-minute song, like you have to realize that 2-minute song could definitely take you hours, sometimes days to finish the song. It took me 2 days to make one song in the past that I've done. And that's all like the engineering process because it can get lengthy at times. And sometimes the cut might be wrong, or you may be recording, you'd be like, fuck, I did that wrong. And then you got to spin it back and then fix it. It's a whole lot of work, but I like it. I went to school at Full Sail, so like I have equipment. Yeah. So like I'll have it at home. Like I have Aris E5s, I have Focusrite i8, I have 4 microphones, and I have like 2 or 3 boom sticks, all that stuff. So like I'm just like very in tune with how music is created. So like I just want to know how the back end is and how the front end as the artist is.
Yeah, no, I think that it's super important for artists to understand how to work in the studio because like hopefully at some point in time, you'll get to a place where, you're given the opportunity to get into the studio and to work with, maybe like a really fucking good engineer or a really good producer in like some fucking sick space. And like, it's really good to be able to go into a space like that and not be like a ding dong. To be like to understand the language, to understand the workflow of things. So so you know how to like present yourself in that situation, and also too to know when you might be getting fucking ripped off or fucking duped. You know what I mean? Like I have been in a situation where I've gone into a studio with bands and I've worked with engineers I've never worked with before. And they're telling me that they can't do something a certain way, or like, you're not supposed to do something this way, or it's not possible. And I'm like, motherfucker, it ain't. I did it in my fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
You fucking mean to tell me you can't do it in this goddamn room? What the fuck am I paying you for?
Yeah, exactly. I've been duped in the past, actually. That actually reminded me of something. Thank you. I was duped in the past. I went in, like, underneath my old alias, I went to a studio, recorded a whole, like, 3-song EP with some dude that barely knew anything about production. He was using GarageBand, no offense, but there are ways to use it, and there are ways to not use it. And he was doing everything that you shouldn't be doing with GarageBand. Boosting up all kinds of stuff and not even knowing what the hell it even means. He's just boosting, and it sounded trash.
Sure.
It sounded like, you ever been to like a bass boosted convention where it's just all songs are just, that's how it sounded.
Yeah.
So I paid $300 for a session and I got that. So yeah.
I think that like working with overly confident engineers and producers is kind of like a rite of passage in a lot of ways. You learn a lot. Another one that I think where I've gotten burned the most as an independent musician over the years, even to this day, even to like recently, like within the past year, music videos. Fucking nightmare. Music videos are like filmographers, videographers. They're like partners. If you find a good one, do not let them go because they are so fucking hard to find. Yeah. Somebody that you could connect with and that really understands your fucking vision, bro. I have never wasted more money in my life than working with shitty videographers.
I've heard a lot about that. That's what makes me so scared making a video.
It's hard. It's
like,
yeah.
I don't have a music video out yet. I only have like short form content. Like if you go on my TikTok, you're gonna see like me behind the mic just doing a mic video. But besides that, I don't have any music videos. And like I always hear the bad about it. It's like, oh, this guy ripped me off. This guy did this. And now it's just like ever since that studio thing that happened to me in the past, now I'm like scared because it's like that happens in the videography scene too.
It happens. So. It happens a lot. I think that it's, you know, it's so tough because like I as somebody that I really respect the craft of filmmaking and videography. I know that it's a very expensive hobby to get into. And it takes a lot of work. And a lot of people you know, they want to charge a lot of money for that work, which I totally understand. And it's worth it. But I mean, when you're getting into the point of like, you know, you're talking, you know, you're like 4 digits deep in your pocket, you know, and like to make this music video, it's like, how do you know? There's no way to know like if it's going to be good or not until it's already fucking done. You know what I mean? Like you can't like, you don't get to see the whole step by step of the process. It's not like recording a song where it's like you're in the booth, you might record a couple lines and be like, bro, like this ain't fucking working.
Yeah.
But when you're shooting a video, you gotta just like really kind of trust them that final edit is gonna be like good.
Pristine, yeah.
You know what I mean? Most recently, like I worked with somebody who I've seen them do other videos that are good. And I paid this fucker a lot of fucking money. You can tell I got some fucking feelings about this. I paid this fucking dude a ton of fucking money for something that I am just not gonna release. Straight up. It's like I'm gonna pay you for the work, but it's just so obvious that he just didn't fucking care, and it just burns me.
It just threw
it
stuff
burns
together.
me, you know. And that's the one thing is like I've tried to, you know, it's like I figured out like I had a similar thing happen to me earlier in my like. Using the word career is a little fucking silly, but in my time releasing music where somebody burned me on something too. And I was like, fuck that. I'm never going to do that again. And I filmed so many of my own music videos over time. Like I got a camera, learned how to do it. It was like, if I can learn how to record my own music, I can learn how to do a video. Video shit's way harder than recording music. Maybe I just haven't put in the effort or the time, or maybe I just haven't gotten nice enough equipment, but it's, you know, I've definitely made my own videos. They ain't good, but I've made them.
You'll get there.
That's why I wanted to like work with somebody else.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's tough. All that to being said, if there's a good, again, if you find one, keep them.
Keep them
for sure.
I will definitely take that advice. I'm gonna indulge that. I'm gonna eat that.
And also, it's really interesting too because, from a marketing standpoint. It's really tough when I see like big music artists and a lot of them aren't even doing like music videos anymore. You're getting like a lot of this really simple, just like low effort iPhone content from them
or visualizers.
Yeah.
And
it's like, well, it's, you know, cause it's like, do these labels, if I'm paying as much money as I paid for a music video that I'm not going to use. I can't even imagine how much money like a label or an independent artist that's operating at a higher scale, if they're throwing fucking, you know, 10K or more at a fucking music video, it's like, what's the point? Okay, why are we trying to make this music video, right? A music video is essentially an advertisement of it used to be an advertisement of your personality that you would put on something like MTV or even like YouTube back in the day before like social media really took off. There was no other way to like display or advertise your personality to the world. Now you fucking have social media and you can just be your fucking self all the fucking time. People know who you are. They know what your music is. It's like, there's really no reason to even do the fucking video unless you just like want to hang out with your homies for a day and do something fun.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you want to spend all that fucking money on the music video, or do you want to put that money into like a marketing campaign behind the single?
Yeah.
And then throw somebody a couple $100 to make like a simple visualizer or something like that. You're going to get the same results. You might get more.
Yeah.
I would have, all the money I fucking spent on that goddamn music video would have much rather put that into something else.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's what I hear all the time about people that ask. It's like, yeah, it's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. And then I hear artists like, you don't have a single video up. I have videos up. It's actually nice because you get more views on that. I mean, yeah, it's YouTube, but I don't know.
I'm not saying like don't do videos. It's just I don't know. It's a hard call to make because again, you don't have an endless budget, right? So it's like, how are you going to allocate those things? A lot of those people that might give you shit for having videos, it's like they have somebody on their fucking team that's just fucking doing the shit for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just happy to fucking be there and they're into having a camera, so they don't got to fucking pay for it.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if that fucking video that I just did was fucking free, I'd probably have a little bit of a better feeling about it.
Yeah.
So it makes it really just being an artist is not complicated, but existing on social media and trying to market yourself is complicated.
Yeah, they both are like hand in hand because like whereas I don't have a music video, I am everywhere on social media. Well, not everywhere yet, but I'm trying to be. I have a couple posts up on Instagram, but mainly I'm on like TikTok and stuff making videos because I'm trying to get my following count up on there because I want to do lives and do like music reviews and stuff like that because I see all the artists that I talk to and they're doing music reviews and I want to do that. So like, yeah, but I just want to show people who I really am. And like, I have this never ending like battle in my head. It's like, dude, you don't have a single music video out. Yeah, but I have all this short form content. I have all this stuff that already shows my personality, like you said before.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I am very much of the opinion that no music video is better than having a bad music video just for the sake of having you have a fucking video. It's going to do you more harm. Yeah. Like really at the end of the day, it's like if the video, it's especially with like fucking, for some genres of music, maybe for like indie rock or something, you could do kind of like something like that's low effort and looks a little kind of like grainy and bad or whatever. And it can lean into the aesthetic. But for like a lot of hip hop stuff, it's like everything has to be fucking flashy and perfect. And,
yeah,
it has to, you really have to like present it on a scale that is like sometimes not even real, which is like a whole nother fucking conversation we got to get into.
Yeah, it's like
we don't got to get into. I mean to say we don't got to talk about like fucking like renting sports cars and fancy Airbnbs to fucking film your music videos and shit like that, which you could do, but it's going into the budget.
It has to
be. to just fucking like fabricate this bullshit that probably like looks cool. It's like a fun flex to have online.
Yeah.
But then you gotta, if you get fucking popular doing that, then you gotta wear the mask forever to keep it up. Then you're always renting Airbnbs. You might collect some points though. Maybe after a while you'll get a free Airbnb.
Yeah.
You'll collect some enterprise rental car points.
Yeah.
Yay. Or something like that. You're fucking, 25K in debt, but at least you can get a fucking free Airbnb. Mitsubishi Eclipse rental if you want. It's a fucking nightmare to do on a small scale, but it's not impossible. I feel like I'm catching myself being a little pessimistic. I don't want to be like that. Be positive.
Yeah, it's always
just focus your energy into stuff that like really think about like the grand scheme of things. Cause like you have those limited resources and like sometimes like if this was fucking like 10 years ago, that music video probably would have made me want to quit music. Honestly.
Damn, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just because like that's when shit doesn't work out. I don't know if you deal with this or not, but like when things don't work out, it could be like really morale crushing, like soul crushing. And it's like, well, what's the fucking point? I'm putting all my effort into this. Like what the, and it's dealing with like failure can be a little bit hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I deal with a lot of that too. Like I don't have videos yet, but I have released songs in the past where like I thought, this is the one for sure. Then I release it only gets like 28 views. So then it's like very mind crushing and you get like discouraged a lot and tends to take away from who you are as an artist. But you got to also understand too, like, not a whole lot of people's going to like that song. It's okay if it's not it. Just make more. You can always release and make more.
Yeah,
Like, that's
it's so hard to just get people to even like see your shit too.
yeah.
You know, like a lot of time, like it's not really about like I don't I don't know if you listen to the radio at all, but there's plenty of music that's not very good, but people are,
Mm,
you know, they engage with it. You know, there's
yeah.
something out there for everybody. It's just a matter of finding your audience. And it can be really, really hard to do that if like you're just relying on like social media as like a small content creator that's not giving, you know, Mark
Yeah.
Zuckerberg thousands of dollars. So what do? I mean, play shows, meet people,
Mm,
go on podcasts, interface with the real world. You know, I feel like the
networking.
real world, networking in the real world and networking online, both very important things, but they're two totally different things when you're on this scale, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Granted,
Mm,
you know, I could be wrong, and I'm sure there's different case studies for people that have blown up in different ways, but I feel like what is common that I see with a lot of newer artists is putting so much attention online and just hoping something's going to go viral and something's going to pop. And like, that's cool. Like, if you fucking pop on TikTok and you got a ton of fucking followers and shit, that's sick. But
mm-hmm.
if you can't get more than fucking 5 people to come out to a hometown show, that's another fucking problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
not gonna, and that TikTok shit or whatever social media stuff, that's gonna, it's all temporary. The internet stuff is temporary because unfortunately there's tens of thousands of fucking people uploading shit that's just as interesting as you every fucking day.
Yeah.
But if you operate in the real world and play on shows, it's just like, hey, this is me and a other handful of artists. Let's meet each other. Let's build this. Let's get this going, you know? And the people that stand the test of time, from what I've seen, are always people that have that organic core fucking fan base. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
I was playing shows with fucking Mac Miller in 2009 in fucking Squirrel Hill to like fucking hundreds of people. Okay. Here, you know
wow.
what I mean? Like, pretty much his entire fucking high school would show up to the goddamn show.
I would have pissed my pants back then.
You know, like, and the same thing with Wiz Khalifa. I opened up for Wiz Khalifa a couple times and like tons, and this is before shit blew up, but locally here, there was still like hundreds of people that would fucking come see, sell out, easy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
fucking like 500 cap rooms, fill them, you know, and like on the big scale, you know, if you see like, if you got like 500 likes on something online, it feels like, oh, that's nothing, you know, like 500 plays on a song, that's nothing. But, you know, if that's 500 people that are actually going to come fucking see you, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like focusing on your shit here is so fucking important, and just
Yeah.
playing shows, meeting people, building here, and then the internet stuff will come with it.
Yeah. And that's a lot of what these new age artists don't understand is like, it takes a village. It doesn't, it's like they think, oh, all I need to do is release this and then just promote the hell out of it. Well, really now it's like a who you know basis, in my opinion. It could, I could be wrong. You could just be like, hey, Kenshi, no, that's wrong. But my personal opinion is like, it takes a big village, it takes a big team. And to make something work, you need a lot of people to work with. That's why I have a producer. I have people I talk to outside of music that just give me advice. They tell me what I want to hear, or well, not what I want to hear, but like tell me things that they want to see more from me.
Yeah.
And because like I do still have this problem where I want to just hide myself and not show myself to anyone and just be gatekeeping is the new terminology. I like to gatekeep myself. So I try to like hold that side of me back and just show everyone who I am. But yeah, it's just like it takes a lot of people to make something work, man. Like you just got to network. You got to put yourself out there. And a lot of these new people just don't get that. I feel like a lot of their audience doesn't even get that attraction either. Because like all they see them on is a little 2x2 screen. And that's it. They don't see them in person. They don't see who they truly are outside of the screen. Who are you? That's what they don't focus on. They're just more focused on getting viral and having that one video blow up, like you said.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's just being a part of the real world. Again, even outside of just being an artist, I think it's really important just for being like a human being on the planet, on the earth.
Yeah, on the earth.
You know, it is crucial to just get out there and network with people and build, because like another reason why it's really important, and honestly maybe the biggest reason why it's important, is to just remember that like you're not alone in this. And like, hey, at the end of the day, maybe I fucking released this song and 28 people listen to it. I've been there. I get it. But hey, you know what? I did this with people that I care about, people that are my homies. I have good experiences doing this stuff, and like everything doesn't have to be all like big lights all the time. It's cool. Aspire, have goals, push, but like don't take for granted like the experiences that you have. Cause like even like getting to just like sit down and record a fucking song and release it, like that's crazy people stuff. Like what we do is not normal. Normal people don't do this shit. We're like really trying to like climb like a really steep fucking mountain that most people look at and they're like, get the fuck out of here. And the fact that even we might not be able to get very high, but the fact that we're even trying, it's something. It's definitely something.
Yeah. It's all about getting up on that horse. It really is. It's all about getting up on that horse and taking that drive. It's all about getting on that skateboard and taking that first push. Skateboarding and music, I feel, is just, it coincides. It's like one big thing. If you fall, okay, cool. You didn't get it. So get back up and do it.
Yeah.
Get back up and try again. Keep doing it. Keep pushing. That's why I like skateboarding so much. I am a skateboarder. I'm not good, but I am a skateboarder. God forbid I can't even land a pop shove and I'm 25.
Hey, I mean, that's the thing is like, you don't got to be like good at something to like say that that's like who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I am a podcaster of many things. This isn't like I'm certainly not fucking Joe Rogan, nor do I particularly want to be. But you see these fucking people that are just like, they're very highly successful doing the same fucking thing. And it's just like, look, like, you have your fucking thing. I have my fucking thing here. And I'm just like happy that I get to share these experiences. I get to meet new people. I get to stay connected with the music community, share people's stories, networking, and like, hey, if 28 people listen to this, fucking sick. If 28,000 people listen to this, fucking sick.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. If more people want to listen to it, cool. If 2 people listen to it, I mean, that's a little whack, but hey, thanks for being here. Whoever you are, the 2 people in the room back there to this, the only people that ever hear this conversation are sitting in the room with us right now. But I mean, that's just how it is sometimes, but I'm happy to at least have this experience. I've had a very good time sitting down, meeting you, talking with you, and, there's no lack of social media interaction that can make me feel bad about the day that I've had and the time that I've spent talking with you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
So with all of that being said, we're looping around the station, trains pulling in, we're coming around the mountain, wrapping things up. Before we pull the plug on this episode, would you like to tell some people out there on the internet about where to find you and remind them about the things that you have coming up?
So, like I said previously, my name is Kenshi Mane, KEN $HIMANE, just like Gucci Mane, but just put Kenshi in front of it. I'm on Spotify, I'm on Instagram, I'm everywhere. I got an EP coming up called Matrix. It is a conceptual EP that is going to be dropping pretty soon on Tuesday. And just keep your eyes out for that. And with all that being said, deuces.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for the chat today. I suppose I'll probably be seeing you around now. We'll be talking. I'll be tagging you and things after all this talk about the real world.
Yeah,
We have a
really
lot of
good
business stuff to do. We got to promote this fucking podcast.
Yes.
But until then, until next time, wow, I'm really fucking up the camera switches today. It's hi, there we are. Hello. I'll be back again next week with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Brian Sykes House. Start the Beat is the podcast. 2024 is the year. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of the people around you, and peace out. We did it. That was a podcast. Woo-hoo!